So you can start with your name again. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Eseza Mulyagonja. As Joanne already mentioned, I'm a Maxwell Leadership Certified Team Member as coach, speaker, and trainer. And we are so into adding value to people. But you see, the thing is, once you add value to people, you also need to be considering your own self as a valuable person. And you cannot be adding value to people unless you actually have something to give. So we like to practice the things that we teach. And we honestly want to see people thrive at Maxwell Leadership. And that is why we are able to provide a session like this for free. And we just come in and talk and support one another become better. So it's a great privilege for me to share this space with everyone this afternoon. We're talking about the Leaders Reset, but before I go there, perhaps I can say again that I run a coaching and consulting firm called Audacious Consulting. And in there, we do communication, we do leadership and business coaching and consulting, building leaders for those spaces. Now, as an offshoot of Audacious Consulting, we recently started our publishing house. It's a boutique publishing house. It's a small press, and we are aiming at turning sketchy manuscripts into beautiful books. Where did Audacious Books come from? Audacious Books emerged out of the need to support writers get published. There are so many people with a good manuscript, but they are not able to get it published for different reasons. And so because we had been spending a lot of time training writers, and then we would get them to write their manuscript and then we would leave them alone. Then they would go out there into the market and they would struggle. Now, we don't want to lose anyone that has an idea for a book, for a great story, because we believe that every story must be told. And so now we are determined to help our writing coaching clients actually get published, and not only get published, but be established as authors, build their brand as authors, and run their authorship and be able to sell their books, rather than have them stacked in garages as in boxes in garages, as has often been the case in our country. So we are on that journey, and I'm inviting you all to follow me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is Eseza Mulyagonja. Very simply, subscribe to my LinkedIn newsletter, which is called the Audacity Journal. It's about all things growth in business, in writing and communication, and in leadership. So, the Leaders Reset. We are entering the month of August. We've already done 7 months of the year, and it's a repeated complaint. Leaders everywhere are just simple, plain tired. What is going on? Because you heard what Joanne said, leadership is at every level of life. You don't have to be the CEO to lead. You can be the leader at home. You can be the leader of a small group discussion somewhere. You can be the leader of a department. You can be the LC1, in your village. It's all different levels and different types of leadership. But it's a repeated complaint. Everybody just seems exhausted. We are entering this second half of the year tired. People are looking at their goals and they don't feel like they've accomplished much, even when they have done so much, but they just don't seem to have the resources in terms of physical energy, in terms of spiritual and mental or intellectual energy to run the course for the rest of the year. This is something that we have all experienced. I can attest to the fact that sometimes I have been so tired myself, And I've just had to find ways of rebuilding my energy so that I can get through the day, get through the week, get through the month, and then get through the rest of the year. So how about you? If you are that tired leader on this call, just type 1 in the chat and we see. Anyone?
Could you repeat the question again?
You feel tired, you are that tired leader, and you are on the call this afternoon. You are wondering how you're going to be able to get through the rest of the year. Yes, I can see Cleophas Nabanja right there. I can see Sheila saying, I'm tired. Joanne is saying, yes, I am also feeling tired. Hey, oh my goodness, blessed rest enough. Oh my goodness, Crispus. Wow. So everybody has been there. Everybody is wondering what to do. Lawrence is saying the same thing. So very tired and overwhelmed. That is what Viola is saying this afternoon. And it's very unfortunate because we still have those 5 months to go for the rest of the year. So what is it about us that causes us to get so tired? We have built amazing teams. Yeah, they are functioning. They are able to push things and achieve results even without our presence every day. But we have to show up nonetheless, and we have to show up even when we are tired. So we are saying leaders need to prioritize rest because the data is very clear. Overworked leaders make poorer decisions, they burn out faster, and they negatively impact their teams. So why must leaders prioritize rest? Rest is not a luxury. It is a strategic leadership discipline that protects not just our clarity. You just want to be able to remain focused on the most important things. You want your head clear every day. But then when you have your energy up, when you are fully rested, you're able to emotionally regulate yourself. What is emotional regulation? Emotional regulation is you do not buckle under pressure. You're not the kind of leader that picks up a stack of papers and throws them at the face of someone just because something didn't work, right? You're not raising your voice and quarreling at your team, you know? That is emotional regulation. You're able to keep your emotions in check even under pressure. Yeah. And so we are also saying that rest is not a luxury because it does affect long-term decision making if you are not having your thoughts and your mind very clear. Okay. So rest is not a luxury. It is a strategic leadership discipline. And leaders who rest consistently demonstrate higher levels of creativity because they're able to think, they're able to sit down and do some really deep work, okay? Leaders who rest consistently also are better communicators because they're paying attention. They're able to practice the power of presence, being there in the moment, hearing their teams speak, but also hearing that which is unsaid. Yeah, they have the energy to make better decisions because they are very clear in their minds. They are also very focused because they have all their energies together. Their intellectual energy, their physical energy, and even their spiritual energy is together because they have rested enough. So we also want to remember that rest is directly linked to the performance of the team. Once the leader is burnt out, they are ultimately going to drive.
I've muted her. Rest you are on other things. Blessed, I mean, sorry. Blessed is on other things. Okay, let's proceed. Thank you.
Okay, let's proceed. Yeah, so I was just saying that when a leader is burnt out, they will become a taskmaster driving their team rather than leading their team because they are so tired themselves, they are irritable themselves, they are overly critical, and so the team begins to feel like they are not getting the kind of support that they really need, and so they are just going to get discouraged. Okay, so those things are real, but what do the statistics show?
In terms of our cost issue, etc. So if you agree, we go to elimination and we end there.
Sorry about that. Please, members, can we mute?
Okay, so let's go on. Yeah, so what do the statistics show? The statistics are showing that at least 82% of executives at all levels feel burnt out occasionally. They are tired. It's also showing that 69% of C-suite leaders experience high levels of burnout at least every week. 75% of managers cite burnout as a top personal challenge. Those statistics are very high. Yeah. And burnt out leaders drive higher employee turnover because when you're burnt out and you are the taskmaster rather than the leader, and the entire team is tired and demotivated, their default position is to get away from you. They will get away from you. Okay. Now, the other thing is that the average CEO works 62.5 hours per week. You know, we keep talking about the 5-day work week, and we keep talking about 40 hours a week, at least in our employment laws here. We talk about the week is 40 hours. At the very most, the week should be 48 hours. Now, the average CEO works 62.5 hours every week. You see where we are going? Okay. Then we are seeing that CEOs and managers at the middle level work at least 70% of their vacation days. So when you have a public holiday, it's not actually a public holiday for most people because they're actually working. People are unable to take Christmas break because things are going to come up. Things are going to come up. So they close the office, they go home, then they carry their laptops, they have their telephone, they have Wi-Fi. They're supposed to be on vacation, but they are still very accessible during that time. Now, the interesting thing about all this is that leaders who are founders of businesses, of startups, of growing enterprises, they often work 70 hours weekly. 70 hours. Okay, from 48, we are now talking about 70 hours. And then some of those do 80 hours every week. So in other words, they can do the 9 to 5 and then they continue up to 11 or to midnight. 80 hours every week. So the implication here is that leaders are operating far beyond what is sustainable and far beyond what their cognitive capacity can take. Those are very high hours. They are very high. It's a stretch. Joanne, how many hours are you working every week these days? You know, that's a question.
As a founder and entrepreneur, it's a lot.
Yes, 70 hours. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so that is the trajectory, and it's a scary trajectory. But some of this is not, it's really not because we are not building teams that are unable to function. Most people have teams that are amazing at what they do, but then the leaders are still stretched. Now, we also know that depending on your age and your physiology, because we are different physically. There are people that are stronger, they have more energy physically, they're bigger, and all that. And then, of course, there are people who are smaller, like myself, and you can only do so much. But depending on your constitution physically, you will require, as an adult, 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night for optimal cognitive performance, emotional stability, and sound decision making. So when you get less than 6 hours of sleep every night, it impairs your judgment. It slows down your reaction time, and it increases emotional reactivity. All these are critical leadership functions. You have to be on top of your game because you have to have clear judgment. You need to respond to crises very quickly. You need to have it all emotionally together before you can perform really well. So when leaders don't rest, there is a decline in their strategic thinking and long-range planning because they are suffering from brain fog. Okay? So clarity disappears or it gets minimized. They are increasingly reactive, they are irritable, they become poor communicators, their emotions are on a roller coaster. And that is when you begin to hear people talking about this very toxic workplace. Because the boss is manipulative, the boss shouts at them, the boss doesn't listen, all those things. The boss is unsupportive. And then you see all these poor decisions that are being made, and you're questioning them and thinking, what is going on here? Yeah. And so the ultimate result is that there's a negative ripple effect on the team's morale and ultimately on retention. And of course, the culture suffers because, the fish always starts rotting from the head. Now, considering all that, we want to say that rest is a leadership responsibility. We have to take it within our stride to rest, okay? And we have to be deliberate about these things because as leaders, we can only offer so much, and we cannot give from an empty cup, okay? So what then can we do? What then can we do? This is what I would like to say as a call to action as the leaders reset. So this is what I would like to propose. And these are very practical things that we all need to think very critically about. First and foremost, as leaders, we need to take a look at the state of the team and the team members that we have around us. What are some of the things that we can delegate? Okay? What are the things that we can absolutely delegate? But even after we have delegated, how much have we empowered the people to actually make decisions concerning their roles? Do they continually have to refer back to us? Or do they have the permission to go ahead and make decisions concerning their own role, concerning their clients, concerning strategy, concerning whatever comes up in their position? Do they have to keep referring back to us? If that is happening, what can we change in order to empower people to actually do the work, so that even when we are absent, the team still functions? Critical question right there. Do they have the permission to move ahead without us? What that does is that you, as the leader, you have the power to step back, to stop, to get away even, and just refill, reset, get rejuvenated and re-energized. Critical question right there. But then also the other thing is that as leaders, we need to be very intentional about scheduling our own times of rest. But you see, even if we schedule the times of rest and we've not empowered the teams to function without us, that rest becomes meaningless, because the teams are going to wait for us to return to work, and then we'll find our in trays full to the brim. Okay, so schedule rest, but schedule it knowing that you have empowered the team to function without you. Critical question. What are some of the things that you can do to empower the team to function without you? You need to write that down. You're going to reflect on it some more. Now, scheduling rest. What does scheduling rest look like? As people of faith, at least for me, I'm a person of faith. Some of these concepts are part of our faith. For instance, Sabbath rest. Taking out just one day every week to stop. The Bible says, 6 days shall you labor. 6 days. We have 7 days in the week. Yeah? 6 days shall you labor. So what happens to the 7th day? You shall rest. But what does the rest during that 7th day look like? Is it filled with charity events? Is it filled with meetings? Is it filled with what, even when you're at home? Okay? That is one aspect. Then the other thing is, most employees have annual leave days. Even the bosses do have annual leave days. Take them. Take them, get away, switch off your phone, head out of town. For me, I have a second phone line, which nobody knows about except my family. And that phone line is so personal, so private, so that if I don't want to, I just want to stop, I'll switch off my known phone numbers and I'll keep that one. Joanne has called me before and she says, Eseza, your phone was off.
Yeah, I've been suffering.
You know, take time out, be deliberate. So when are you going to take the Sabbath rest? It doesn't have to be on Sunday or Saturday. It can be on any day of the week. Okay? When your annual leave is due, take it. Take it and get away and stop. Okay? Now, the other thing is we need to learn to protect our boundaries. Once you determine that this is my Sabbath day, just protect it. Let it become sacred. Gain the courage to say no without feeling guilty. Because there will be people who will want to push those boundaries, you know? They will push those boundaries. I follow a gentleman on LinkedIn. His name is Mark Randolph. Mark Randolph is a co-founder of Netflix. Okay? He is a co-founder of Netflix, multi-billion-dollar business. So he left Netflix eventually and he sold his stake and all that, but he's still a very powerful entrepreneur in the United States. He says for him, all the 20 years that they were building Netflix and even right up to now, he set Tuesday evenings as sacred time. Sacred. 5 p.m. would find him walking out the door of the office. If you wanted a meeting with him at 5 p.m., you would talk to him as he was walking to the parking lot. Why? Because he always had a date with his wife on Tuesday evenings. What did that date look like? Sometimes they'll just go wander around a shopping mall, pick up coffee at Starbucks, and then head home. That was it. It is
Hello.
catch me on a Monday.
Okay.
I won't be present. You just won't catch me. Joanne, can you still hear me?
We missed you like for 1 minute. It was a few seconds. I think you were talking about your own experience.
Yes, I was just saying Mondays are my day off. You won't catch me on a Monday. So protect those boundaries, learn the courage to say no, take back control of your time. You're the leader. You can learn to negotiate meetings, even with clients, with business partners, even with your bosses. You can learn to negotiate. If you are employed, you might not be able to decide that I can take my Monday off, but you can take your Saturdays and Sundays off and keep those days sacred. Now, when you rest, you're able to lead from the overflow, not from a state of depletion, okay? Now, if you are depleted, you won't be able to lead the way you ought to. So now, I just want to share a tool as we close very quickly. And this is a tool that I would encourage everybody to take a look at. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so if you have a notebook with you, I'm going to encourage you to draw that circle. A circle that
It's
looks
not
like
very,
that.
you want to make it, I don't know if it's possible to be bigger.
Oh, okay. It's small, eh?
Yeah.
Let's see. I hope I can make it bigger.
Okay.
Can you see?
Yes, we can see. Yeah.
How about there?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, so draw a circle like that, eh? Okay, and then divide it into 7 portions. This one has 8, but I just want us to focus on 7. Okay?
Yes.
Call it your wheel of life. Wheel of life. It's called the wheel of life. Okay?
Yes.
7 parts, equal parts. And now you're going to label each one of those parts as follows. faith is number one. Your faith. It doesn't matter what you believe in, but there's always got to be belief in a power higher than yourself. Okay? So the first part of the circle is faith, then family, then fun. Faith, family, fun, fitness, friends, finances, and then farm, FIRM. 7 portions. Okay?
Yes.
Now, these are the different aspects of our lives. When you think about your life concerning those 7 parts of it, how much time are you allocating to each one of those 7? That is the critical question. Okay? Now, you see the lines that go across the circle?
Yes.
From the center of the circle there to here should be a scale of 1 to 10. Okay? So it's almost like you're plotting on a graph. 1 to 10 from the center to the edge of the circle. 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 to 10. Now, a life that is balanced, you'll find that when you plot, you will discover on a scale of 10 that you're forming a nice, neat circle inside the wheel. Like you see now this circle inside. Okay? That is the life that is balanced. You're giving almost equal portions of your time to those 7 aspects of your life. Now, what is happening with most leaders is that once you plot, you will discover, for instance, that if I am talking about fun, how much time do I allocate to just having fun? Going out with my friends, hanging out at the beach, going hiking, going mountain climbing, or whatever. When you consider you plotting from 0 to 10, you'll discover, for instance, that you only go up to point number 3 on fun. But when it comes to farm, paying attention to your work, you'll discover that it is a 9. Yeah? And then when you talk about your friends, how much time are you allocating to them every week? Maybe you're at about 2 or 3. How much time are you allocating to taking care of your spiritual well-being? Maybe you're at 5. So when you plot on those lines and you join the dots, the points at which you plotted, you will find that it is skewed, that it is out of shape. Does that make sense?
Yeah, true.
Okay. So now the question for you, ladies and gentlemen, is you're going to draw this thing and then you're going to plot. See what your wheel of life is looking like. And then you're going to ask yourselves, where am I out of balance? Because when you have plotted, you will clearly see the places, the spaces in your life that need attention. Okay? You will discover that I am so focused on work. I am not doing anything regarding my fitness and my health. Yeah. I am not doing anything concerning just relaxing with friends. I am not paying enough attention to my family. I am not even thinking about my money. That is a real thing. earning money and you are not planning it out, and you are thinking, now I'm 50 or I'm 60 and I am getting retired, I'm getting into retirement and I did not pay attention to my finances. So you're looking at those 7 areas of your life. Faith, number 1. Looking at family, number 2. You're looking at fun. You're looking at fitness, which includes your emotional and physical well-being. Your fitness should include your mental health. It should include your emotional health. It should include your physical health. Okay? Did you have a doctor's appointment that you did not attend? You scheduled a check with the dentist and you never showed up because you were at work? You promised yourself you would walk 3 kilometers every so often, every week. You haven't. You see, look at the circle of your friends. When they say we have a do together, are you that person who never shows up? Just so you can reconnect with them, refresh, talk about life, share advice, encourage one another, support one another. Then we need to talk about your finances. Take a real hard look at your money. It's your money. Are you earning?
Hello. We have lost you for a bit, but I think we've got the message. Everybody has got the message as Eseza gets back on. I hope it's not me who's having an internet issue, but it's Eseza. Can you hear me? Type 1 if you can. Okay, we have lost her. Yes, we have lost Eseza. But like she said, she's really was talking about the wheel of life, and she emphasized this. I would call it the 7 Fs. Yeah, we lost you, Eseza, but yeah, we got the yeah.
Yeah,
You are
sorry
summarizing.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was summarizing. Take a look at your wheel of life. You will discover that once you get back into balance on those 7 areas of your life, you will have gotten into a place of reset, and you'll be able to get into a place of rest, and you'll be able to perform optimally as a leader. I promise you won't be as tired as you might be feeling right now. Thank you so much for listening. The Lord bless you, and over to you,
Wow.
Joan.
Thank you so much, Eseza, for this wonderful talk about how we can reset, and for sharing with us that wonderful 7 F's wheel of life, and that if we try to balance, we will be able to actually have the rest that we have. So unless anybody has a question, please unmute and ask a question. Otherwise, type in the chat, what is one thing that you're going to do following this talk? Just type in the chat as we get somebody who would like to ask a question, and mute and do so. Just type one thing that you're going to do following this talk. Kindly remind us on the 7 F's. There is faith, family, fun, fitness, friends, finances, and farm, where farm means your work or your business or whatever you do to earn a living. Yes. Okay. Any question? Any questions? If not, please type in the chat. Let us know what is that one thing that you're going to do to reset, to rest with intentionality. Okay. Cleofa says, take a minute to slow down. Okay. Okay. Others, what are you going to do? Okay, it seems somebody would like to ask a question. Can you ask that question? I know we are past, we are remaining, we don't have a few minutes to lunch, but we started a bit late. We want to apologize for pushing, but yeah, delegate without feeling guilty. Fantastic, Sheila. Thank you so much for sharing what you're going to do. Have time to refresh, fitness, that is steady. Joyce is saying time to refresh and delegate without feeling guilty. That is Sheila. Yes, Lawrence, you have a question?
Yeah, hello. Okay.
Yes.
So my question is, okay, I feel like I'm the youngest person on this call, and yeah,
Yes.
I just want to ask, how does rest look like for me? Because I know the people who are talking right now are holding very high positions or something like that. How does rest look like for me? A person who's trying to also like reach to your level, like climb up, uh, something like that. I just want to know, how does rest look like for me?
Okay, thank you, Lawrence. Yeah, thank you. Any other question before Eseza can take them all at once? And thank you so much, members, for joining. Yes, please. Any other question? So Anne is saying the wheel of life has been my key takeaway. Have time for friends. Okay. Okay, Eseza, over to you for that question that Lawrence has raised.
Wow, interesting question, that one. Lawrence, rest for all of us looks the same. It actually does. Determine to get your 9 hours of sleep, 8 hours of sleep, 7 hours of sleep every night. For some of us, that is a real struggle. Because we are working those very long hours that I shared at the beginning. It can be quite a struggle, but you can determine to go to bed like at 10 or at 11 because you're doing school, you need to be up early. Yeah? Yeah, so go to bed early and rise early. One of the things that we can do is just ensure that we put those gadgets away, get off TV, switch off the phone, don't get back onto the internet. Keep away from those gadgets. Yeah. You remember okay. One of the things that we can do is that we can just take a 1 hour away from gadgets every night before bedtime. Very important. During the day, you can stop when you're tired because one of the things that happens is that our energy levels can drop during the day. Once that happens, you can take 20 minutes to either walk out into the sun or grab a glass of water or do your stretches or even take a power nap. You will feel much more refreshed. That too is rest. Sabbath rest. That one day of the week where you just shut down. The principles are the same for all of us. Doesn't matter whether you're a student or you're a CEO. It doesn't matter. Same thing. Okay? The wheel of life, it applies to the CEO as much as it applies to a young person like Lawrence. Same thing. Think through it and see where you're out of balance.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Eseza, for taking us through that wheel of life and really seeing how we can create balance. I just wanted to share this briefly about upcoming events. We have two things connected to, one is connected to the farm. So how do you manage your farm? So we have an SMS business bootcamp coming up in November. So if you something that you would like to do, please join us for that. Otherwise, next month, the month of August, like we know on the Ugandan calendar, there's the Rwenzori Marathon. And as Magister, we are partnering with one of the campsites. So if you'd like to go for the marathon and don't have where to stay, like the accommodation in Eseza is a bit scarce, please connect with us and we connect you to one of the campsites. Otherwise, about the business bootcamp, it's about sustainable and resilient businesses. We don't want businesses that collapse after a few months, years, or even after 5 years. So if you feel like you like to gain more skills on how to run green businesses, or teach or train or consult around green businesses, digital businesses, and really having business diagnostic skills, this SME bootcamp is something that will be good for you, because ultimately, quote in quotes, would like to become business doctors, so we are able to diagnose other businesses and see how that goes. So if you're a Lunch and Learn member, we have a discounted rate for you. And if you know anyone whom you can refer to participate to attend, please do so. We will also be able to consider you in this SME bootcamp. Otherwise, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today. And let us find a way how we can really rest. Thank you so much, Eseza.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure. And if you like to join our WhatsApp group, it's already in the link. So just join and then we will be able to share this recording. Thank you and have a good afternoon. And
Just a moment, Joan.
Yes.
Someone is asking for the presentation. I don't have presentation slides.
No, there's no presentation. So there's a recording. So we are going to share the
There are no
recording.
slides.
There are no slides.
Okay.
Oh, you are looking like a slide. Interesting. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Bye for today.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Bye.